Hey guys, welcome back to the Journal 3 analysis. Today I'm going to be going over a few more pages, so if you want the secrets and codes and mysteries of the journal pages, then keep watching. So as you see on this left page, it shows Nathaniel Northwest and it shows a bunch of information. This isn't significant to the mythology of Gravity Falls, it's just stuff that was basically seen in the season 1 episode Irrational Treasure. And it shows on the right page, Mabel with the hat. This took place after the episode, like you could see the red handwriting. She wrote that in after Irrational Treasure, so this is showing the timeline of Gravity Falls. Like after episodes took place, she would write in the journal, and this also happened with Dipper. They would both write in the journal like extra pieces of information, and that's pretty cool. August 3rd, and this shows some more stuff about the Northwest Mansion and the Northwest family. Also, if you notice, it's the great secret of the Great Flood. This was referenced in Northwest Mansion Mystery, the season 2 episode, so this is some nice continuity. And if you notice on the bottom of the right page, there's all these symbols, and as I talked about in the previous videos, these symbols mean that Bill is talking. So when I read this, just know this is coming from the mouth of Bill Cipher. Don't care for Preston's face. Might fix it someday. Now obviously this is a reference to Weirdmageddon. Of course we didn't know this at the time. Like in season 2 episode 10, we had no idea Bill was gonna mess with Preston's face. But in Weirdmageddon part 1, it's just like crazy, and this is some foreshadowing, because if you somehow have not seen the ending of Gravity Falls and you got this journal and you knew this code, then you would know that's what he would do. The Undead, extremely dangerous. This is a very iconic page because, as you know, this was the first page seen in Gravity Falls. It was in the first episode, The Undead. It shows all this stuff about zombies. Now this is a bit different. It shows spells, do not read aloud, corpus levitas diabolo dominum. And this chant, when read aloud, will conjure zombies. If you see on the middle of the right page, do not read aloud, this means that if you read it out loud, zombies will show up. And this actually happened to Dipper and Scarioki. Now, when we saw Dipper and Scarioki reading from the journal, we didn't actually see the page where he reads a spell, but this is where it comes from, so that's some nice continuity. Now, the code on the right page is creepier than zombies. Local funeral director Victor Valentino and his son Greggy V. Okay, now this page shows magic items. Most of these aren't really important, but they're pretty cool to look at. Like the Cloak of Occasional Visibility, that's a joke because you never know if you're going to actually be invisible or not, and it's just going to malfunction while you're using it, so it's pretty bad. Crystal Baldwin is a reference to the Baldwin family, and that's just another joke thrown in there. The Tie of Possession you very likely recognize because this appeared in the Stanchion Candidate Season 2 Episode 14, and we didn't really get any information about this other than Ford saying that he built it a while ago for Reagan's Masters or something. And the Giant's Thumb, we haven't seen that in the show, but there have been references to giants, and this is just another one of those. Alright, now this is another page that was seen in the show, and if you notice on the right page, there is a code that says 90% and then all these weird letters. That means 90% sure he's a werewolf. And if you notice on the above paragraph, you will see that Ford is talking about the mailman guy. And this is also really great continuity, because in one of the first episodes of Gravity Falls, probably the first episode, Seuss is talking about this mailman, and he might be a werewolf. So that's really, really cool, because it's showing that Ford also thought the same thing, and it's basically a throwback to the first episode. Even though Ford wasn't in the first episode, he still has the same thoughts as Seuss, and that's interesting. These two pages were also seen in Gravity Falls. They aren't important to anything in the background of the show other than that we already seen them, and we know that they are in Little Dipper, so we already know all about them. Alright, now on these two pages there isn't much to talk about, but on the left page I want to talk about Manly Dan. Now if you'll notice, it shows that Dan Corduroy owns this cabin, and then Ford talks about how he's gonna go there and stay there for some time. So this is really interesting, because we saw in Gravity Falls: A Tale of Two Stands that there was some lumberjack building the cabin and building what would soon be the Mystery Shack. So we know from this page that Manly Dan was the person who created that, and Ford stayed at this cabin for a weekend and got inspiration for staying in Gravity Falls basically. So that's really interesting. It gives us some background as to what the Mystery Shack was before it became the Mystery Shack. And on the right page we see ghosts, And Ford is talking about how on the next few pages we're going to see a bunch of different varieties of ghosts, so we're going to learn more about them. Alright, now this is a big section of the journal. It just shows a bunch of categories of ghosts. And this is what was seen in Gravity Falls. We saw it in Northwest Mansion Mystery when Dipper is flipping through the pages. Now there's not much to say on this, but I want to decode the code on the bottom of the left page. Creepily whispered, "Can I help you?" Horrifying. Alright, now the following pages, Category 2 Pranksters, Category 3 Gluttons, these aren't really important, so I'm just going to be like speeding through them. Category 4, She's Always Watching, it shows us painting. There's so much here that I just don't really have anything to say because they're just random ghosts. Category 5, Soul Suckers. Category 6, Phantoms of Pain. Category 7, The Eternal Key. And that Eternal Key goes into the Petrifying Rock. Category 9, Dream Hipster. This was seen in the show. It's a reference to Freddy Krueger, and it's a very scary ghost. You wouldn't want to run into one of these. Category 10, Danger. Advice: get the local rich girl to apologize to them. Dipper. Now this is important because Ford wrote in advice and he didn't write anything after. Maybe there's invisible ink that we don't know. But Dipper just wrote this after Season 2, Episode 10, Northwest Mansion Mystery. So yeah, this is one of the things that he added after experiencing something that he saw in the journal. Alright, now this is a very, very significant page. It starts an important section of the journal and it sets the stage for basically the entire rest of the journal. And I'm going to be talking about this starting in the next part of the journal analysis. So if you want to see that, be sure to give a thumbs up on this video, comment below to tell me what you think, and subscribe to let me know that you like this series. I'm going to be talking about this page and the following pages in the rest of the series. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.